My name is Olive Nete, and having you on board is always a great pleasure. Let's kick off today's edition. Several Congolese refugees residing in Rwanda have formally communicated to various embassies concerns over the escalating hate speech and discrimination propagated by certain leaders in their home country. Alongside their testimonies, they submitted detailed reports highlighting ongoing abuses and their specific appeals for action. Nora Gladys has more on this.
These are some of the statements that were repeatedly expressed by some Congolese nationals who became refugees due to persecution in their home country based on ethnicity. They spoke in front of the United States Embassy in Rwanda. One of the reasons that led them to take this action was remarks made by the former spokesperson of the Armed Forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Major General Sylvain Ekenge Bomusa, during a radio and television broadcast on December 27th last year. In his remarks, he used language targeting the Tutsi community, which is predominantly found in the eastern regions of the country. Gloria Uwimpuhwe, a resident of Mogomba refugee camp in Gisagara district, emphasized that such statements are dangerous and must be firmly and unequivocally condemned.
We are thinking about our fellow women who are Tutsi and are living in the Congo. How are they surviving? We are worried that they are being persecuted. We consider ourselves lucky because we were able to flee. Yes, the host country is treating us well, but we are deeply concerned about the lives of those who were left behind. They are facing many difficulties, whether it is children in those families or women. They are all suffering. These realities really hurt us. We are here to reclaim our rights, and we are calling on the mediator countries to recognize and address the problem that exists. When people are affected in the DRC, even those of us who are here are affected as well.
The United States and Qatar embassies in Rwanda were among those visited by Congolese refugees this Wednesday to express their grievances and suffering. The refugees stated that they expect this initiative to yield positive outcomes, particularly given the role these countries are playing in efforts to restore peace in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
We believe that mediation will play a great role. Secondly, since the mediators have a voice at the United Nations, we believe that justice can be served more effectively. We believe that the country can be sanctioned or other measures can be taken until justice is served. We believe that this approach can produce positive results if it is carried out in the way we expect.
Preventing hate speech is one of the key provisions included in both the Doha and Washington agreements. These frameworks also contain provisions on the voluntary repatriation of refugees, in line with the Addis Ababa agreements signed in July 2025 between Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. However, Congolese refugees said that the continued spread of hate speech has caused them to lose confidence in the possibility of returning home safely. Regional Great Lakes political analysts argue that such inflammatory rhetoric should serve as a serious warning to the international community. They emphasize that hate speech has been one of the root causes that pushed the M23 movement to take up arms in an attempt to defend their community.
Well, the hate speech are the result of a hate that has been, being distilled among the members of the government, members of the population. This is, when it comes to feelings, I think it's personal. It's personal. But what is unfortunate is that these personal feelings are being now expressed by government authorities, people that are vested with public power, that can, be a serious threat to the rest of the population. So the result of this hate speech comes actually from hiding the real issues that have to be dealt with. So when you want to hide what you are not doing for the country, we are talking about authorities that need to deliver to the people. They tend to create something in the mind of the people that if you are not getting what you want, it's because there is a group of people there that is your enemy that needs to be wiped out for you to get what you want. So I think it's a technique that has been used by most of the governments that were unable to deliver to its people, and they have now to find an excuse to tell the people that if you are not getting this, it's because of that. So all the problems now that are in DRC are blamed on one group because they say they are the ones that are causing them chaos, are bringing wars since 30 years, but forgetting that why these people took up arms to fight. It's because they were denied the most fundamental rights in their country.
Political analysts argue that failure to fully comply with the provisions of the signed agreements is one of the major factors delaying the effective implementation of the peace process.
By implementing the Washington Peace Agreement, there is nothing like compromising security of people and the country. Because as I like saying, the Washington Agreement is just made up of few things that have been dealt with during these years and which the parties never wanted to solve by themselves. But it's a simple thing. Rwanda demands only the dismantle of FDLR. FDLR being a genocidal militia that was taken to Congo. I avoid the word that they fled to Congo because they did not even go by themselves. They were escorted, by the way. They were escorted, they were given logistics, and they were helped to be in DRC. They were never disarmed. They were never taken to camps far from the border, as the international law dictates that they should be at least be placed to 120 kilometers away from the border of the country where they fled from. This was never done, and the international community never did anything to correct this mistake, if at all they consider it as a mistake. We call it as a mistake because the law says so. So when I say that what is in the Washington Peace Agreement is just a simple thing, what is required of the government of DRC is the dismantle of FDLR. And then once FDLR is dismantled, Rwanda will remove its defensive measures.
The actions carried out by the Congolese refugees at various foreign embassies in Rwanda follows earlier activities held in refugee camps across different provinces, during which they condemned hate speech being disseminated by some leaders in their home country.
Still on regional security matters, testimonies from these Congolese refugees living in camps in Rwanda revealed the journey they went through due to the FDLR, a genocidal group, and their own government in the Democratic Republic of the Congo before fleeing to Rwanda. Adam Squizera has the report.
Kiziba refugee camp, located in Kanonji district in Rwanda's western province, is one of the long-standing camps hosting Congolese refugees since 1996. This was a period where many Congolese Tutsi were being killed, others forcibly displaced, and their homes and properties burned. Woman Agnes arrived at Kiziba camp, which hosts more than 14,000 refugees, when she was only 10 years old. She recounts a journey of more than 90 kilometers from her home in Masisi, passing through Minova and Goma before crossing the border into Ruvu in 1996.
We began hearing that our neighboring Tutsi were being killed. Before the violence reached our area, we learned that there were lists with names and dates of people who were to be killed. After confirming that some had already been murdered, we fled. As we escaped, some of the perpetrators followed us. We arrived at Mugunga, where we encountered those who had fled Rwanda after perpetrating the genocide against the Tutsi. There were many, and they intended to kill us there as well. Fortunately, we managed to escape again, reached Goma, and eventually crossed into Gisenyi.
Her experience is shared by many others, including Kwizere Mpera, who has lived in Kiziba camp for over 29 years. He explains that these atrocities took place in full view of the DRC government at that time, and there was a clear and direct collaboration with FDLR. They began manipulating them into believing that we don't deserve to live together. Soon after, they started looting our properties, slaughtering and eating our cows, and killing people one by one. In 1996, we crossed the border under extremely difficult conditions. These refugees strongly condemned the conduct of some officials from their country, whom they accuse of deliberately ignoring the truth, instead claiming that M23 is made up of Rwandans. The refugees insist that AFC M23 is composed of Congolese citizens who chose to fight for the rights of Congolese Tutsi, who have been displaced for nearly 3 decades. It's not about nicknaming them. We know who they are. Since the time of CNDP, they have been Congolese. My firstborn was killed there. So you understand? They have land there. They keep cattle there. It is truly their home. Those are our brothers. Calling them Rwandans is scapegoating the issue instead of addressing the real root causes. Dwamara Rukleva, who is 79, says that after witnessing the FDLR terrorist group push him to the brink, killing his children and looting his properties, he fled to Rwanda last year and was received at Namira transit camp. FDLR and Nyatura first took my cow. Later, they killed my child, who was the only one I had left. My wife was already here at Namira camp, so I decided to come as well because I had nothing left behind. Currently, Rwanda hosts more than 100,000 Congolese refugees, including those who have lived in exile for nearly 30 years, as well as those who recently fled fightings between the Congolese forces and their coalition, who are fighting the AFC M23. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
Moving ahead to other local matters, entrepreneurs who export technology services to markets across Africa say that Rwanda's strong international reputation makes it easier for them to invest and operate abroad. They believe that technology services will help increase the volume of Rwanda's exports to international markets. Nora Gladys has the report.
Under the second National Strategy of Transformation, NST2, Rwanda aims to double revenue from exported technology services to reach $7.3 billion by 2029, up from $3.5 billion in 2023. Entrepreneur Olivier Mugawonake, who founded the financial technology company AD Finance, says that after starting in Rwanda 20 years ago, the company has expanded its operations to 7 countries.
We are one of the companies that started exporting our services outside the country, in the region and in far other regions like in West Africa, where we are in countries like Burkina Faso, Guinea, Senegal, and so on. And we're targeting to also penetrate into the Southern African market in this year and the coming years. In Rwanda, we stay a relatively small market, and so if we need to grow, we need to export our services outside of the country, and then some year on year we can have half of 40% of revenues generated outside of the country. So this is a very big, it's a very big importance for us to be able to export, because as a company you cannot exist without export. That's a fact.
Young entrepreneur Khapen Kaisire, founder of Kaiko, a company that provides technology services, also says that by 2026 they expect to have expanded into regional markets.
Our target will be informed by our own numbers based on the user base, but also even on the opportunity. We have quite a number of people in Uganda, Tanzania, and Congo who use Keiko. We are looking at these markets as not just an opportunity to scale our solution, but to also find partners in those regions and in those markets where we can confidently scale, because this solution needs support and buy-in from different partners, from central banks to commercial banks to local authorities. So this is where we intend to focus on in 2026.
The good reputation that Rwanda has built internationally is what they rely on, as it earns them trust and a warm reception abroad, according to Aimable Timenyi, the second vice president of the Private Sector Federation.
For example, the tax-related projects we work on have already reached many countries, more than 5. You find that they do not place you in what we would call sensitive areas involving state secrets, unless you have the level of trust that Rwanda has. The work we do contributes to peace around the world, and all of this has helped people to see Rwanda as a country that meets high standards. As a result of confidence in Rwandan products increases. It is therefore a great opportunity to have this strong reputation because it gives us access to African markets. Without a good name, we would not be able to reach these markets, which require a high level of trust.
The President of the Republic, Paul Kagame, recently stated that Rwanda has prioritized a technology-based economy.
In Rwanda, we see this journey as part of our larger vision to build a knowledge-based economy. We are integrating artificial intelligence into our planning, prioritizing research and human capital development to boost productivity and improve public service delivery. While the challenges Africa faces are significant, they also offer great growth potential if we collaborate. Governments, the private sector, and other partners should harmonize policies and create the right environment for innovation. This will enable our data and payment systems to flow securely across borders and connect our economies.
Technology services exported to international markets are expected to help reduce the gap between the relatively low volume of goods and services exported and the much higher volume of goods and services imported.
Now, women working in cooperatives and savings groups see that these are pathways that help them improve their lives and lift themselves out of poverty. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion states that women will continue to receive support to enable them to actively contribute to the development of their families and the country as a whole. Women engaged in trade say that joining cooperatives and savings groups has been a driving force for development for themselves and their families. The Executive Secretary of the National Women's Council, Mubyeyi Marie Mediatrice, highlighted how women in cooperatives and savings groups are supported to build both economic independence and positive mindsets. Mubyeyi Marie Mediatrice also encourages women to participate in various programs that help them achieve greater development. The Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion emphasizes that women's participation in cooperatives and savings groups play a vital role in their development and encourages women to engage more actively in different initiatives aimed at combating poverty in their families. Now to Rusizi district in Gihundwe sector. In this district, a foundation stone was laid for the construction of a Unity and Reconciliation Center as a legacy left by Father Ubald Rugirangoga, who played a significant role in promoting unity and reconciliation and was recognized as the protector of the pact. After the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, there was deep mistrust between perpetrators and survivors' families, making reconciliation seem as distant as the moon. Father Ubald made a visible and lasting contribution to the journey of unity and reconciliation from that time onward. Those who have followed this path of unity and reconciliation attest that the lessons and spirit instilled by Father Ubald Rugirangoga have yielded positive outcomes in the relationships among Rwandans Rwandans. Since 2008, at the hill known as the Peace Sanctuary in Gihundwe sector in Rusizi district, prayer activities for the sick have taken place there. It is also the burial site of the Father Ubald, who passed away in 2021. On Wednesday, a foundation stone was laid on this hill for the future construction of the Unity and Reconciliation Center as a legacy bequeathed by Father Ubald. Father Ubald Rugirangoga was named as the protector of the pact in 2015. Jean Bosco Ntibitura, the governor of the Western Province, affirmed without doubt that Father Ubald contributed significantly to raising the level of unity and reconciliation among Rwandans, a legacy that will continue to be remembered. The Unity and Reconciliation Center is expected to cost approximately $300,000 so far, and so far $150,000 have been raised. The laying of the foundation stone coincided with the commemoration of Father Ubald Rugirangoga, who passed away 5 years ago, January 7th, 2021. And this closes today's bulletin. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for staying with us. On behalf of the entire news team, we wish you a fruitful week ahead. Good night.